Hello.
Good morning.
Well, good evening where I am. Whereabouts in the world are you at the moment?
I am in Tucson, Arizona, sir. I should have known immediately by the accent.
Yeah, it gives it away a little bit, the Aussie accent. We can't hide it very well, especially me. I'm country Australian, so yeah, I can't pull it off.
Oh, so like the Texas of the UK, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh my gosh. When I go there, it's going to be like walking into a movie with all of those accents. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those because I'm assuming this is your first time to Australia as well, isn't it?
It is, yes.
So, yeah, I think you're in for a bit of a treat because you're going to hear a lot of slang that not even the folks in the UK or maybe even Dani doesn't use down here as well. So, there's going to be some confusing things. So, we like to keep it interesting.
I hope it's really interesting because if it is interesting, I will take it and I will bring it back and I will use it relentlessly here in Tucson until people catch it. Promise.
Perfect, perfect. Well, we got someone else joining us. Let's add them in. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
How are we?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm
What's the
doing.
time? What's the time like?
It is 8 p.m. in Australia at the moment. What about where
8
you are?
p.m.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's much worse for Zoe. Hi, my love.
I'm fine. Yes, honey, no worries. I was already.
Well, it's not long now until you guys are finally back down to Australia. I know you've been here before. I was just talking to Zoe before. She said this is her first time. Have you given her any warning to what the Australian people are like, or are you just kind of going to leave it as a big surprise?
Uh, um, let's leave it as a big surprise. But no, I mean, I love Australian people. I have already few friends in there. Namely Neil Blivis
Ah,
chats.
yep.
Yeah, so we toured with them back in 2015 in Europe and 2016 in US.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. That's it's because I run into the guitarists from them all the time. Like at all the festivals, I seem to can't get away from him. Nice guy as well. They're all really
Yeah,
nice boys. Yeah. But look, it's very exciting to get you back down here. I just had a look. It's just past the 5 year mark since Cradle of Filth's been down to Australia. And before then, you guys were almost every 2 years for a time. Like, you got to be missing it. I know the Australian fans are missing it because most of the shows are sold out as well. That's so awesome.
yeah. I mean, the pandemic caused this big delay,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can't wait. I've been in Austria two times, 2018, 2019, and both just blast, awesome times.
Yeah, everything except the long flight to get over here, I think. If I could take one thing away from this country is that it feels like you're traveling to the moon when you're traveling to Australia because we're just so far away from absolutely everything else. But we appreciate you making your way down here as well. Have you gotten any tips or tricks as time's gone on, like getting used to these long flights, or is it just something you have to bite down and get used to?
Yeah,
I mean,
Zoe.
I'm doing it right now. I
Yeah.
start adjusting myself to the time zones that we're going to a few days in advance. That's why I'm up over here at 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Well, I couldn't tell it was 3 o'clock in the morning over there with the lighting. I thought there was a bright sunny day coming through the window, so you've hidden that well.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to. I got to get myself awake by turning on all the lights in the house, having four or so cups of coffee, and that's how you switch yourself over to Australian time. So
Yeah, yeah. Or there, when you get here, everyone switches coffee for beer. We're a little bit like the UK in that sense that it's always beer o'clock down in Australia. But no, we actually make good coffee here, surprisingly. So I'm not used to it.
Oh,
Well, yeah, no, it's one thing, and I won't say, and I don't have anything bad to say about America. I loved America when I went over. I got to say, you guys, your coffee is very, very average compared to ours. So I'm talking a big game now, but your coffee is very average compared to ours.
I would agree with you in principle, but there are some good coffees here. Don't get me wrong, but I judge coffee harshly, so I'm going to judge the coffee over there very harshly. I'm excited now.
No, good, good. It gives you something to look forward to. But tell us, you've got you had the live album come out last year. There's a new album on the way. I don't think there's dates. When I talked to Danny a couple of months ago, he was mentioning there was no dates for the new album yet. Is there something we're going to see soon in the future? Perhaps a single come out before the year's end, or we're a bit tight-lipped on that and can't say anything just yet?
Well, if you watch Dan's Instagram, you'll see that he mentioned last week that the video cut for the next single has been delivered to him. So I
Ooh.
think that's a sign.
Oh, I'm guessing we're not getting any new songs on this tour yet. Probably a little too soon, being next week.
Sadly. But good things are on the horizon very soon, like Dan said. So
No, very excited for it. Very excited for it. And now that you've been in the band for a couple of years now, Zoe, how are you finding all this travel and going around the different audiences? Because Cradle of Filth is definitely different to a lot of other live acts. It's more of a theatrical performance on top of a live metal show. Like, tell us your insight, like just seeing the fans and interacting around the world.
I mean, I think the fan base for this band is so wholesome. That was the biggest, well, not a surprise for me, but like one of the best parts of joining the band was just how lovely all of the fans are. And a lot of them, they bring their kids to the shows. So it's like a whole family kind of thing, which is a former elementary school teacher I love seeing. The traveling, I was already pretty used to that. I travel a lot. I traveled a lot already with other music projects. But being in Cradle has been particularly special because the fan base is so warm. And
Mm.
so when you get off one of those long 20, 30-hour flights and you're greeted by just amazing people, it really makes it all worth it.
And what about you, Marit? Playing all these years in Cradle now, like in new album. This is correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the fifth album you've worked on since joining Cradle of Filth?
Fourth one.
Fourth. I'm getting the
Fourth one.
live album in there confused. But
Ah, yeah,
how,
yeah, you're right. Live
yeah,
album. Yeah.
how was the writing process on this album compared to when you first joined the band? Have you kind of like I guess we'll go from your first album with Cradle of Filth compared to this new album. What's changed? And I guess has anything changed since the pandemic when it comes to writing and recording for yourself?
I think it this time it was even more like a collective effort. You know, we even while we are speaking, via Zoom now, we used actually Zoom with Zoe and Dani to write together. So it's more like I mean, it's not we are in the same room, but
Yeah.
almost like very interactive rather than shouting emails with the ideas and wait for response for reply. Yes, so yeah, that was very exciting, very refreshing. Yeah.
And Zoe, this is being the first album, I guess, besides being on the live album, but this is the first album for you. How was it getting in there? Was there any nerves when first putting down the vocal tracks for this?
I mean, I was shocked they let me write anything because I had just joined, not gonna lie. But I did get to write some stuff. I think that was the more nerve-wracking part was trying to write things that would be correct for this band.
Mm.
Um, So that part, once I got over that hump, once I started realizing that I could write for Cradle, the rest of it was fine. Recording was a breeze. I loved the producer Scott, and Dan was a lot of fun to work with in the studio. So no drama there.
No, perfect. And it's funny that you mentioned before about, you did everything over Zoom. Bands don't even need to be in the same country anymore compared to in the 90s and early 2000s. It's such a big dynamic. And I've talked to so many bands where someone's in the US, someone's in the UK, they put an album together, they rehearse a little bit and then go out on tour. Is that kind of similar to what you guys are doing in Cradle these days?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about the tour, you're coming down here with Infected Rain. I know a lot of people kind of thought this was a match made in heaven as a tour. What's your personal opinion on it? Because when I talked to Dan a bit about it, he was absolutely thrilled. Couldn't say enough good things about Infected Rain.
I mean, I think they're lovely people. I met them once at NAM a couple of years ago, and just really friendly, wholesome people. The music is great. What do you think, Ashok?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, it's gonna be a great combo. I
Mm.
mean, for life, you're gonna have a two a bit different experiences, yeah, and I think yeah, everyone is just got what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of live shows as well, like I said, this is the first time back down here in 5 years. You're going to have a lot of fans that have never seen a Cradle of Filth show before, or people, coming along with their friends. Because I know people have gone, oh, come to Cradle of Filth. They go, are they really heavy? And he's like, yeah, but just come along and see. What would you say to those people who have never seen Cradle of Filth before? Like, if you had to describe your live performance?
Zoe?
I mean, when actually that does happen because I would say the first thing I said to my grandparents when they found out I joined Cradle and I was trying to convince them to come to a Cradle of Filth show. It's extreme, but at the same time, it is hauntingly beautiful. I
Mm.
mean, so many elements to this music that go beyond heavy and, like you said, into the realm of being theatric, into the realm of being like a movie score at some points. So there's something really there for everyone if you keep an open mind.
Yeah, because it is one of those things as well. And you mentioned that people are so nice, and I sometimes think the meaner the kind of band looks, and the more spikes and the more corpse paint everyone wears, the nicer the people tend to be. And the fans just seem to be these really lovely, wholesome people, but look terrifying. Everyone walking down the street who's not going to the concert, seeing it line up, is like, I don't know what's going on in there, but it has to be kind of seen to believe these types of shows. It's a special thing that really doesn't exist outside the metal community.
100% agree with that. We're a scary looking bunch, but I tend to think that those are the most normal people, don't you?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's kind of like you could be yourself, but you're expressed through, I guess, your appearance to a thing. And that's the strangest thing. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I feel bands like Cradle of Filth, Demu Borgir, for example, just all these bands that look terrifying and, maybe the music sounds evil. It's just one of those things that, I don't know, it's wholesome. It's kind of funny when you explain that to people for the first time and they're just like, nah, I don't believe you. It's got to all be like the way the media portrays it. Anything that plays metal is evil and they're all horrible people. But it's the farthest from the truth. It's quite fascinating.
We're all chill, we're all
Yeah.
chill. This genre chill. We're just folk.
I was just going to see if he was going to chime in real quickly on something. I think he's making you do all the heavy work today.
Marek Schmerda, you gotta talk.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, the terrifying looking. I mean, you can't play this kind of music in a a Hawaiian style tank top, t-shirt and shorts, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, as I think Zoe kind of explained and described it like
Yeah.
accurately. Like it's more like a movie experience. It's not only musical experience but a visual as well.
Yeah, spot on, spot on. And I'm going to go back to you, Zoe, for a second. I'm going to talk about Australia for a second. Is there anything you want to try and do? It's all right. That's normally me where it goes off.
No, that's my phone. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Got to have a little bit of fun interaction in there. But I was going to say, coming down to Australia for the first time, I'm sure you know a fair bit about Australia or nothing at all. It's going to be either. Is there anything you want to try and do or see while you're down here?
Well, living in Arizona, I'm told that Australia is basically a giant in terms of poisonous snakes, spiders, things like that. And I actually am really fascinated by snakes in particular, venomous
Ah.
snakes. Really hoping we get a chance to visit a zoo with some local reptiles.
Actually, saying that, if you're playing the Metro in Sydney,
Hmm.
about half an hour, maybe less to actually get there if you're driving. There is a reptile museum down towards where the Sydney Opera House is. So if you're going to do the Sydney Opera House photo that everyone does, you can literally walk from the Opera House to the reptile museum and the aquarium.
That's cool. I never been there.
Yep. Yeah,
Very- Gosh.
it's on Darling Harbour. So like if you go to the Opera House, you cannot miss it. If you go, because it's the aquarium, the reptile museum, and the Madame Tussauds, like the wax figures. They're all right next to each other down there on the water. So if you get up nice and early on Saturday, I think it is, you're playing Sydney, I'd go check that out if you can, because I think you'd love it. We do have a large collection of venomous snakes, and there's a couple of big old crocodiles there as well that you can have a look at.
Oh, like the saltwater crocodiles, the
Yeah.
ones that, yeah, like responsible for the most human deaths apart from the Nile crocodiles. I've heard. So,
Yeah, there's a big boy in there. I remember seeing him last year. I know he's old, but he is huge. If you ever want to see anything that's close to a dinosaur in real life, he is there. So definitely go down there and check it out.
wow, Shmerda, can we go on a date there? Would that be cool?
Sounds like a fun date. Yeah, I'm up. I'm up for, yeah.
And it won't take all your time either. I think if you're even if you're looking at everything, you can probably get through it in about an hour. If you really want to, slow it down and get some souvenirs at the end there, maybe 2 hours. But it's really cool. So I highly suggest you do that. I'm glad I could at least tell you where that was because it's not far, so you can definitely go there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I think I've done my good deed for the day with you guys. The tour is almost sold out. You've only got a couple of tickets left in Adelaide, a couple of tickets left in Perth. Is there anything you wanted to say to the Australian fans before I let you go today?
Uh, be there. We are looking forward to play for you. It's been a hella long time, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see some familiar faces. Uh, just be there.
And
And
Zoe,
thank you for
before...
your support.
No, we love to have you here. We always love having Cradle down. Zoe, anything you wanted to say before I let you go?
I am so excited to meet the Australian fan base. I'm so excited for this new continent. So yeah, be there because we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys. Tickets will be linked in the comments below. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cannot wait to see you next weekend.